shaking. Over 1 million wildebeests, zebras, and surge forward. Drawn by instinct and driven by survival. This is the Great Migration, the largest overland movement of animals on Earth. From the burning plains of Serengeti to the green fields of Maasai Mara, every hoofbeat carries the weight of life or death. Hidden in the grass, predators wait. Below the water swamp, killers lie in ambush, ready for a fierce battle. Here, there are no second chances, only one unbreakable rule. The strong survive, the weak are left behind. And in this wild arena, nature writes its most savage symphony. Welcome to From Serengeti to Maasai Mara, savage encounters across the Great Migration. Departing from Serengeti, the thunder of hooves pounds the earth dust, rising in suffocating clouds. In the heart of the Serengeti, life begins with merciless chases. A newborn calf, still unsteady on trembling legs, is already forced to run for survival. Behind it, predators close in with lethal speed, roars, snarls, and panicked cries echoing across the plains. Here, peace does not exist. From the moment 500,000 calves are born, their first breath is met by waiting teeth and claws. From December to March, the southern Serengeti becomes the epicenter of a momentous cycle of survival. The short rains have revived the land, transforming the arid plains into a lush carpet of nutritious grass. This abundance of food is the signal for the great wildebeest herds to converge and fulfill their most vital purpose, to bring forth a new generation. However, this period of plenty is governed by a parallel law. For at the same time that new life flourishes, the primal instincts of the hunters are also awakened. They know that this season of abundant life is also the most bountiful hunting season of the year. But that lush carpet is only a mask, hiding the brutality beneath. Here on the Serengeti, existence is balanced on a single breath, and nature spares no place for the weak. Predators shape the rhythm of life in their own ways. Lions dominate through power, and unity striking with sudden force that can bring down even the heaviest prey. Hyenas turn chaos into advantage, their haunting calls echoing as they close in with tireless pursuit. The cheetah is the embodiment of risk, gambling everything on a single sprint, a heartbeat of speed that few victims can escape. Amid the relentless struggle for survival, the instinct of every hunter is awakened, transforming the great journey into a path where the line between life and death becomes more precarious than ever before. New life bursts forth here in staggering numbers, but it is shadowed by constant peril. Many calves will fall in their very first days claimed by hunger and teeth. Yet it is this harsh cycle that sustains the balance of the ecosystem, feeding predators and scavengers alike. The Serengeti is not merely a land of abundance, it is a proving ground where the price of existence is paid in blood and sacrifice. And when the grasses begin to wither, the great herds will move again, surging north toward the Maasai Mara, where even greater trials of survival await. The harsh journey. The rains fade, and the southern Serengeti begins to wither. The grass turns pale, waterholes shrink into cracked basins of mud, and the once green paradise becomes a land of dust. Instinct stirs the herds, pushing them to leave behind the south and begin a relentless march northward and westward. The wildebeest form the vanguard of this great march. Like the first inhabitants of the plains, they charge forward to claim the most fertile lands. Outnumbered, they trample the dry grasses and turn the ground, preparing the way for those who come after them. Following them are the herds of zebras, advancing at a more cautious and disciplined pace. With their senses always on high alert, they act as the eyes and ears of the entire migration. Eventually, smaller groups of gazelle topi and eland join the mainstream like tributaries to a mighty river of life, completing this enormous mobile ecosystem. But this river of life has a cruel law. It rolls onward relentlessly, leaving behind the old and the injured. An inevitable tribute to the predators that patrol its edges. Every step of the journey is a test. Thirst deepens as rivers dry to dust, and each day the line between life and death grows thinner. Even after crossing hundreds of unforgiving miles, the steps of these resilient pioneers never falter. Then the Grumeti River rises before them, the first great barrier of the migration. To the weary herds, the river appeared a relief, a cool wash of water after miles of dust. But beneath its calm surface, the crocodiles waited patiently, silently, and majestically for a tasty morsel to present itself to them. The crossing erupts into turmoil. The whole herd plunged into the water hooves, thrashing bodies colliding in panic. The river churns with life and death entangled. For the crocodiles, the river is a feast. For the herds, it is a trial of blood, the price of survival. This is the harshest passage of the migration, a season that strips away the weak and spares only the strong. And still the herd moves on, bound together by an instinct that will not allow them to stop. On these plains, survival belongs not to mercy, but to those who withstand the test. Death challenge at Mara River. The herds gather tightly at the riverbank, restless and trembling, pressed shoulder to shoulder by sheer numbers. Dust rises in suffocating clouds, the air thick with the heat of panic. The water appears still, its silence nothing but a deadly disguise. But beneath that silence, shadows stir. A crocodile's snout breaks the surface for an instant, the ripple spreading wide before it sinks again into the depths. The tension stretches until it can hold no longer. And then, with a single leap, the silence shatters. One plunges in, and the rest follow in a thunderous cascade. The great crossing has begun. What follows will decide who survives and who is lost forever to the waters of the Mara. The river explodes into chaos. Hooves thrash wildly, bodies slam together, and the surface erupts into froth and spray. Calves cry out in terror, their thin voices piercing the roar as the current wrenches them from their mother's sides. Some are dragged downstream, swallowed by the torrent before they can even fight back. Panic surges through the mass like a living force, and in that confusion, the true predators rise. From below the water detonates as massive jaws erupt with terrifying speed. river turns crimson as the beast twists and coils, pulling its prey deeper, suffocating it in silence. The Mara has become a battlefield, an arena where life and death collide in violent waves. Screams of prey echo across the river, hooves pound like thunder against the current, and death erupts from every direction. For those caught in the torrent, survival hangs by the thinnest thread, and for many, the waters of the Mara will become their grave. Set foot in Maasai Mara. By August, the survivors of the Mara crossing spill into the rolling grasslands of Kenya's Maasai Mara. After weeks of hunger and fear, they find what they seek: rain-fed plains shimmering with fresh pasture. The land is green, the rivers flow more steadily, and for the weary herds, this is a temporary reward, a chance to feed and regain strength. For a brief moment, it feels like salvation. Here, safety deceives. Predators understand the pulse of migration, and every moment they wait is a countdown to the kill. In the tall golden grass, lions crouch low, their bodies hidden. They target the zebras that graze near the edges of the herds. Among the migrating herds, the zebras are impossible to miss. Their black and white stripes ripple across the plains like moving waves. To the wildebeest, they are more than companions, they are scouts. With sharp vision and remarkable memory of route, zebras often lead the way toward fresh pastures and safer crossings. But this gift of vigilance makes them a prime target. For the lions of the Mara, a zebra is not just prey, it is survival itself. One successful hunt can feed an entire pride. And that is why every movement of the zebra is watched, every step shadowed by danger. And the attack came suddenly and fiercely. Elsewhere, speed decides the hunt. The cheetah, slender and swift, favors the Thompson's gazelle as its primary target. Unlike other predators, it hunts alone, relying not on strength in numbers, but on stealth and perfect timing. Its body lowers into the grass, every step calculated to avoid detection. At first it waits patient, then launches in a burst of pure velocity. The chase ends in silence as claws hook into fragile flesh. For the cheetah, the hunt means survival. For the gazelle, it is the end, written in the oldest law of the plains. Here in the Maasai Mara, abundance sustains both hunter and prey. Life continues, but always at a cost. one species falling so that another may endure. A timeless journey at a modern crossroads. By November, the skies break open once more. The rains return to the southern Serengeti, and the parched earth transforms into a carpet of green. Tender shoots of grass rise from the mud, calling the herds back to the land of their birth. The circle is complete. The Great Migration returns south, just as it has for thousands of years. This timeless cycle, dictated by rain and grass, sustains the balance of life across the plains. For millennia, the migration has followed this rhythm, anchoring one of the most intricate ecosystems on Earth. The herds chase the rain, the predators follow the herds, and the scavengers feed on what remains. Each step, each death, each birth ties together a chain of survival that has endured since prehistory. Yet today, this ancient cycle faces threats unlike any before. Climate change disrupts the rains, shifting seasons, and leaving the herds confused, sometimes stranded on barren land. Expanding farms and livestock cut into the savannah, stealing grazing grounds and fragmenting the routes that once stretched unbroken across the plains. Tourism, though vital for funding conservation, has become over-tourism. On some migration crossings, more than 150 safari vehicles have crowded the riverbanks, disrupting natural behavior. In one extreme case, park authorities recorded up to 600 vehicles in a single day in the northern Serengeti, pressuring both wildlife and habitat. Such congestion forces wildebeest to delay crossings, sometimes even retreating, putting them at greater risk in crocodile-infested waters. But there is hope. Serengeti and Maasai Mara have been safeguarded as national park sanctuaries where the herds still roam free. Cross-border migration corridors are being preserved, allowing wildebeests, zebras, and gazelles to complete their journeys. Anti-poaching patrols, community-led conservation, and sustainable tourism practices work to defend the legacy of the migration. The Great Migration is more than an animal spectacle. It is the heartbeat of Africa's wilderness. If this rhythm falters, the plains will fall silent. Protecting it is not only a duty to nature, but to the generations yet to come. This great journey comes to an end, but the eternal cycle of life in the Serengeti and Maasai Mara will continue just as it has for thousands of years. It is nature's epic, where survival is always bought at a price, and where beauty and brutality exist side by side. Thank you for joining Wildeyes on this emotional journey. We believe that every story of the natural world, when shared, becomes a seed for understanding and a call to protect. If you share the same passion and want to discover more incredible stories, hit the like button to help spread this video. Leave a comment to share your thoughts and experiences. And most importantly, subscribe to Wildeyes and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of our future adventures.